Probably three things just pop into my mind. Number one is we have a very excellent team. Anyone that watched the matches can see that at all 9 spots, the 3 double spots and the 6 single spots, we've got very, very excellent tennis players, so that doesn't hurt. The degree to which we have as a team just some really lovely people that have, through the course of a semester and more broadly the year, been kind to one another, supported one another, and so forth, adds that component. I don't know that it's science, but I will say the chemistry is very good because it's been a group that's characterized by cohesion. And then finally, I think maybe more to the point of your question, why at this moment, and I just think that I think we've probably played about 30-odd dual matches, and I think that expression, the dog days of summer, is, you're playing your 58th baseball game in Kansas City in late in June. Our players can see the finish line. They are being challenged each day, and so I think there's sort of a sense that they're storming and charging towards what they're hoping to do, their intention.
Peyton, similar question to you. Obviously, you had a tough match in the round of 16, and you turned it around with 2 really impressive wins in singles. What is working for you specifically on the court?
I'm just being more positive on court. I feel like I'm more active. In that round of 16 match, I was a little negative. The girl played well, let it get to me. And the past 2 matches, I hit an error, she hits a good shot. It's like, okay, move on, next point kind of thing. Like, I want to win, and I want to win for this team.
And then, Coach, you've mentioned it a couple times in here how young your team is. Are you impressed with how these young players are handling this moment?
Yes, I think success has sort of if I can use the imagery of a heat-seeking missile, right? You need to sort of have the intention and expect that you're going to do well, and then it isn't. You have a sort of a way of finding the success. So it's definitely a team that from the outset the intention has been to win, and. I think today, I would say, I didn't see that malaise that I talked about in the last two rounds. Once we got up I think we won the first set in all 6 matches. We really put our foot on the gas. And so the level of poise that these young people are bringing is knocks my block off, because I'm an old guy and I don't have as much poise as what they do.
We'll open up to some questions now. We'll start with Colette, then Brian, then Terry.
Hi, congratulations. This question is for Peyton. I know when you decided to go to college, you wanted it to get better, to have the team experience, to prepare yourself for pro tennis. I'm wondering if getting into an NCAA final is a goal, or is that just icing on the cake for you?
It's a goal and a privilege to be here. We've worked hard for this, and it definitely helps my pro career, 100%.
In what way is that?
I just want to say the confidence. There's a lot of good players here, and you look at the scores we have, and we're trudging through pretty handily. And coming out of this, I think I'm going to come out with a lot of confidence for the summer circuit, and that's just going to help a whole lot.
Okay, thank you. And Howard, could you compare perhaps to your previous quest for an NCAA title, getting to the final back in 2013?
Colette, you asked a similar question last week, and it's such a strange thing, because in this instance the schools are different, but the players are different, the opponents are different. Just from my personal journey, it was definitely a surprise, if you will, at Texas A&M when we went to the NCAA final. We had a very excellent team, but it was a first in my journey as a coach. And I think showing up here in the final again, all of 6-7 years later. I have much later in my career feel like I've managed to retool how I approach things and the players and so forth. And I'm, of course, thrilled to bits that we've got this opportunity, but I think we are certainly going to approach the final with the intention of winning it.
Thank you.
All right, Brian, then Terry, and then Jeff.
Yeah, Peyton, I just wanted to ask, Anna Rogers is no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. How much is it when you come out there, how much of it is your mindset is you stay on the attack? Because that's clearly what you had today, and, she just didn't have any answers.
Yeah, I mean, I just went out there trusting my game, in all honesty. I'm a big offensive player. I stayed on her. I think it was really tough for even to get into the point, and I tried to stay on that the whole time and just, not let her in. There's a little window in the second set. I think I had a little trip up. I was missing a couple, let her back in, but I bounced back pretty fast.
And how quickly can you figure that out on the court that, hey, I got this, just keep grinding?
It's been a process. Howard's definitely helped me with that. But, I mean, you just look at the past 2 matches I've had, and I've said it's improved a lot, thanks to Howard.
And Howard, look, I admit I don't know every little thing about women's tennis, but I do know an ass kicking when I see it. Is that what you sense out there? That's what this team is doing? You don't care who's in front of you? Y'all are just going to steamroll through these people?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, with all sports, right? You obviously cover Austin. Our ladies a few weeks back were glued to the television when Jarrett's team were playing Kentucky in the NCAA volleyball final and screaming and shouting. And I think there's a certain science to the coaching and the playing, right? You teach the techniques and the plays and so on and so forth, but there's an intangible sort of element that our players bring, and I think anyone that watched them play, our players are very joyful. They play with a zest for the game and for life and are out there enjoying themselves. And I think there's probably a good amount of psychology science to suggest that would help performance, but we have proved to be quite a dominant team over the course of the year. Yeah.
All right, Terry.
Congratulations to both of you. What a fantastic day. Peyton, a couple questions for you. Your ability to hit that ball so close to the line so often was insane.
Thanks.
Were you just simply in the zone on your game? Do you practice that? Because it was over and over, and just Rogers is right there, and you still hit it so close to the line is crazy. So curious about that.
No, I don't really practice that.
It was insane.
I just, the past 2 matches, as you see, I just trust myself. I went out there and, if I'm going to hit the ball, I'm going to hit the ball, and I'm going to do it the best I can. I'm not going to second guess myself. And most of the time, I mean, I'm hitting the ball close to the line. It's a great shot. But when I don't trust myself, it's not that good. So I've definitely had to work on that throughout the past year with Howard, and it's really paying off.
I guess that's what Coach was talking about a couple days ago, where you have the rider and the horse, and you just get out of your mind and just play your best game, and that proves to too. Also, another thing I noticed was the speed at which you play. It's like we're on to a championship. Let's go. And you're faster. I mean, the games go much faster. Is that the speed at which you like to play? Is that a competitive advantage because your opponent was worn out? You could tell on the floor.
No, not really. I mean, I think I was just kind of on a roll, so I was moving a little quicker. That definitely helps. But, the opponent sometimes they stall or they take forever, but I mean, I have the same goal in mind, and I'm going to do the same thing no matter what the speed of the match is.
Okay. And then one last question for you, Coach. I noticed during the matches, you would be right there on the sideline. You were either watching the match or maybe you had your back to the player watching another match. Is there a sense that your presence has an effect on the play or your players? Is it a confidence? Is it subconscious? Is Peyton maybe or another player knows that you're standing there watching them, and it's your energy, your presence that, subconsciously. I saw it. I just was curious what your take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you just go to any professional tennis event or junior tennis tournament, you'll see that players, I guess it's human nature, right? They hit a good shot, they look over to their mom, in the boys or girls under 12s. You see Novak Djokovic hit the winner and looks at his now wife, then fiance. And so tennis is such a lonely sport in a sense. You're out there on your own. And it's so ego-driven. In other words, when your son loses a Little League game, you all go to McDonald's, you get some ice cream, and the team didn't play so well. No one's feelings are too bruised. With the tennis, it's tough stuff, right? Because it's you versus the other person. And so I think the degree to which there's someone there in a supportive role, so Coach Fogelman or myself, even if it isn't substantively giving so much information about the tennis, right, where to hit, how to hit, just to have that, if you want to call it a parental support behind them, I think is true of all teams. I think the thing that as coaches we need to avoid is being the bad parent and putting too much pressure on the kids and so forth. I mean, there's a fine line which anyone that follows tennis sees all over our country. Parents too involved and exerting too much pressure. But I would like to think, I would hope that my presence on the court is reassuring and comforting. But I think, as I said, all players. It is a lonely sport in a sense and very ego-driven, so it needs some person there in their corner.
Coach and Peyton, thank you. Congratulations to the entire Texas women's tennis team.
Thanks,
Thank
Terry.
you.
Welcome.
All right, Jeff, and then we'll go to Alex.
Question for both of y'all. I know that you obviously don't get to pick who you play next, but a chance at UNC again. Is that something that's crossed your mind?
So, P, I'll take it first, and then you take a swing at it second. Obviously, we're obviously well aware of the best teams in the country. At this point, all the teams, all the players are very, very excellent. Prognosticating on who might win this match, I guess it's going on now, or about to go on, or later. Isn't really helpful. What our players know or will need to know is that we're going to face a very, very worthy opponent, and no question we'll need to show up and bring our best tennis self to the game, whether it is Pepperdine or North Carolina. I'm sure for our team, the chance to play North Carolina again, it was our only loss we sustained this season, might be a fitting end, but I'm a romantic, and the poetic justice stuff, doesn't matter. We got to deal in facts, and so we'll be happy to play whoever we're pitted against tomorrow. P, you could take a swing at that one.
It would be nice for a rematch, but you take UNC or Pepperdine tomorrow, whoever we play, we're just going to go out there and we're going to focus on ourselves.
Well said.
We trust ourselves, and we're ready to play whoever. And we're going to show up tomorrow. So.
One more for Peyton, if I can get this in real quick. A moment ago, Coach said success is like a heat-seeking missile. That's the first time I've heard that. What does that mean to you?
He likes to use a lot of analogies. I think that just means, we're coming in hot. You look at the season. We've lost once. We're in the finals now of the NCAA. We've had a lot of success behind us, and we're ready. We're ready for this. So.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks.
we're going to wrap it up today with Alex.
Thank you, and congratulations to you both. To use another coach analogy, Coach, you often talk about the secret sauce, that this team has some sort of secret sauce working for them. Well, it's 2 matches in a row. You guys have taken doubles and 6 first sets. I know there's still one more match this season, but if you can, tell us what that secret sauce is right now that's getting you off these strong starts.
I think, the first day we had a discussion, I talked about it. Our players in the last year or two have started to work with a performance coach in town, and really just to put the finest point on it, all of us, tennis players, tennis coaches, wives, daughters, we all have the best parts of ourselves and we all have the ugly parts of ourselves. And the real question is, in terms of performing and winning, is what part of ourself is going to show up to the game, right? In other words, you've covered a lot of matches here and you see players getting nervous and going into the critical voice, oh, you can't do it, and you get broken every time, or a player gets super nervous and berating themselves. All those parts, we all have them. The degree to which our players can set those parts of themselves aside and have the killer and the winner show up to the game, that's the secret sauce. That's what needs to happen.
No, absolutely. And one question to you, Peyton. Obviously, again, you talk about him having many analogies. I'm curious if you've got a classic one that Coach Joffe always is turning to, that he's telling you between matches, and what are the coaches telling you to prevent you from doing some scoreboard watching during today's match so that you could just focus on yourself, get over the finish line?
I think I probably can't say the favorite analogy,
Yeah.
so I'll say a different one. Keep it PG. I think the best analogy is like, how would you talk to your 6-year-old self? When I'm getting that out there, when I miss, an easy forehand setter, it's like, am I going to scream at that 6-year-old, or am I going to be nice to them? And I think that's helped me a lot. Scoreboard watching, I think we had a problem with that a little bit at indoors in the finals. Definitely got to us. But we've all learned our lesson from that. And, if we each, analogy here, it's like when the king comes to town and you're pouring wine in the vase. And, if you just say, oh, my neighbor's going to do it, and you don't do it, well, if I say that, well, I'm going to take the L. And if Anna's saying that, she's going to lose, and so forth. So if we each do our part, we're going to come out strong, and we should take the W.